some of the younger people here may not recall the 1980s. Those are the days when there was a monster called the Special Branch. That was the Kenya Police Intelligence Department. The torture chambers of Nyayo House, the Kenya trials, the killings, the abductions, the extended torture, people being jailed on trumped-up charges. We used to live in fear that sometimes you're even afraid to think, because walls had ears. You couldn't go to a bar or to a restaurant or on the street or in the matatu and talk the day we talk today. The moment you say something which somebody in government doesn't like, you're inside. And before you know it, you've been forced to sign, tortured into signing some confession, and you are jailed for 6 or 7 or 10 years for all kinds of things. Mostly, it used to be sedition. And my fear now is that this government wants to take us back to those days. This government was elected on the promise that there will be no more extrajudicial killings. There will be no more politicization of the justice, law and order mechanism. What we're seeing now is the Kenya Police, specifically the Directorate of Criminal Investigations under Mohamed Amin, has been turned into a political enforcement mechanism, like a youth wing for Ruto's government. The National Intelligence Service, which had been largely professionalized since the reforms driven by Brigadier Boynet, under this regime, under Nordin Haji, is playing the same role. We are hearing about a multi-agency something or other task force or unit based at DCI. It is the one which is abducting people. But it incorporates operatives from the National Intelligence Service who have gone back to playing politics and on behalf of the state. I'm told it even incorporates officers from the military, particularly military intelligence, the anti-terrorism police unit. We are talking about a security system which should be focused on serving Kenyans, protecting Kenyans, particularly from external threats. But it is now being used to protect the president, to protect this government from Kenyans. As simple as that. And I think it is getting worse by the day, despite all the denials. We have heard the president saying, give me the names of anybody who is missing, or who has been abducted and is missing. The names have been given. There have been all these reports. We don't hear of any effort to do anything about it. The other day, the police were denying having held the fellows we are calling the Kitengela 3. On the day, the acting Inspector General then, Masengeli, was due to be sentenced for contempt of court. They were released. He had been saying he was not holding them. The police were not holding them. There is the unanswered question. Who was holding them? because there is no doubt that they were abducted by police. Who was holding them and where were they being held? And wherever they were being held, they must have been taken through a very terrifying ordeal, because you can see being abducted and released, they are still traumatized. They are unable to give an account of what they underwent. I suspect we are back to the torture chambers of the 1980s and early 1990s, the secret cells, the secret police cells, all those kind of things. We're heading for a very dangerous period. In my own case, I am just a simple journalist. There is nothing I've ever done underground. As I say, everything I do is public knowledge because it is published. I write it and it is published. I have never engaged in any underground activities. Mine is to bring the truth to light. I followed closely the lead up to the Gen Z revolt. I covered it. I even went to the streets myself, not as a participant, but as a journalist. I did not do anything. And then one day, they came for me. And I consider myself the fortunate one, because I happened to be with my son, who raised the alarm, spread the message, and I think along the way, the thing went viral, and a decision was made to release me. Then they came up with this stupid thing about mistaken identity. It was not mistaken identity, that I am sure. They came for me. They were camped somewhere outside my house waiting for me to get out. And I don't share a house with the other Francis Gaitho. They were tracking my phone. I don't share a phone with that Francis Gaitho. They were following my car. I don't share a car with that Francis Gaitho. By the way, I don't even know him, other than what I've read in his posts on Twitter. I leave home. I'm going for a meeting in town. I live in Gong. Just around halfway to Karen, a car cuts me off in the traffic. I didn't even think anything of it. I assume it is the normal way Kenyans misbehave on the roads. They overlap, as we call it, and then they have to cut in when there are oncoming cars. But then when the traffic started moving again, this car did not move. It remained blocking me. So I was still trying to figure out what's going on. And I was not driving. My son was driving. And it was just a coincidence, a very lucky coincidence, that I happened to be with him, because he had not gone anywhere that day. And he asked me for a ride to town, and told him, okay, I'll give you a ride to town, you drive. As we were waiting for this car to move away and wondering what is going on, there's another car behind us. The first car was a Subaru. I didn't even think anything of it. The other one was a white Toyota Probox. Two men come out of that Probox, come straight to my car and yank open my door, the front passenger door where I was seated, and start trying to pull me out. And initially, I didn't understand what is going on. Who are these people? Is this road rage? I don't know. But then I see them trying to put a pair of handcuffs on me. That's when I realized, shit, it's an abduction. It is the police. I struggle with them. They try to pull me out. I am resisting. And my son, an 18-year-old boy who just got his driving license in December, makes a very quick decision. He accelerates and turns sharply to the left to avoid the car which is blocking us. The fellows who are trying to pull me out, two of them, we are almost dragging them along the road. Eventually, they have to let me go. So we start speeding on the left side of the road, on the hard shoulder, with the Pro Box following us. On the other side of the road, the Subaru has put on its siren, and it is now overtaking the cars which are in the traffic, keeping up with us. That's when I tell my son, these are police, they are out to abduct me. Sooner or later, they'll catch up with us. This is what you will do. I will not let them take me with my phone. I will leave you with my phone. As you start spreading word that I've been abducted, and where you can, take pictures and videos and share them on my WhatsApp groups. There is the family groups, there is the neighborhood groups. I'm in various media stakeholders groups, Editors Guild, Media Stakeholders Forum, some PR, all kinds of groups. Family, work, professional, social. Just share that wherever you can. If you can get onto my WhatsApp, if you get onto my Twitter and any other social media platforms, do that also. My idea was that if we can get to Karen Shopping Center outside Java, there will be many people. I will create a fracas. There will be many people observing, taking pictures, and there are CCTV cameras. That was the original idea. But as we approached the current roundabout, I saw the Subaru overtaking cars on the wrong side, going to cut us off at the roundabout. So I knew we will not make it to the shopping center. So I told my son, turn, the police station is just ahead of the roundabout. I told him, drive into the police station. I gave him my phone. I told him, look, I'm going to get out. You lock yourself in the car and start taking videos. So as soon as the car stopped, I got out. I told him to lock. The Pro Box was right behind me. Some 3-4 guys came out. They started trying to force me inside, and I was resisting. So there was a bit of time for my son now to start taking the videos. The uniformed cops who were there were asking what is going on. They're being told to shut up. Some are trying to help the abductors. Others are trying to demand to know what's going on, but they were clearly intimidated by those fellows who are not in uniform, who are not showing their IDs. Eventually, they forced me into the Pro Box and started driving away out of the police station and down Langata Road. And the first thing they ask me is, where is your phone? Give us your phone. I told him I don't have a phone. I don't carry a phone. They search my pockets, even my socks, everywhere. They pat me down. I don't have a phone. Oh, by that time they have handcuffed me. I don't have a phone. So one of them makes a phone call to some guys apparently they had left behind at the police station, the guys in the Subaru, and tell them he doesn't have his phone with him. It must be with the boy. And I remember what he said. Get it from him, na msimbembeleze. What does that mean? Don't be soft on him. Be rough on him. And the first thing I think he would be, what have I got my son into? Then they ask me now, where are our handcuffs? I told you they had tried to put some handcuffs on me. Fortunately, they had not yet managed to lock. So I think I was getting out of the car. I don't know, at some point, they dropped in the car. I told them I don't have them. I don't know where they are. They start slapping me around, asking me, why are you resisting arrest? I told them I am not resisting arrest. I am resisting criminals and thugs. They say, but can't you say we are police? I told them I can't. Show me your IDs. You are, as far as I know, you are thugs. You're not policemen. If you're policemen, you would have IDs. You should show me your IDs and your service numbers. They tell me a very stupid thing, which I actually burst out laughing. They tell me, can't you see we have guns? And we had a Subaru. You know, they've made a Subaru the hallmark of a official police car. And my son-in-law drives a Subaru. I know so many other people who drive Subarus, and it's just crazy. As for guns, I tell them even all the thugs I know carry guns. So the fact that you have guns doesn't mean is a police ID. Anyway, we keep on going. They tell me off for being stupid, for blah, 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 for being arrogant. And they tell me I had some of them when I drove away, dragging them down. Anyway, I asked them for their IDs, they refused. I didn't want to know where they're taking me, they refused to talk. Then as we approach Galleria, I think somewhere around that turning of Langata South Road, they stop. I'm sandwiched between two guys. Then there's a driver. The driver is the one who was seen on the video coming out to kick me when I was resisting to get into the car. And the guy in front. The guy in front gets out. He's talking on his phone. He talks for a while. Then comes back and tells the guys to turn around, but they still don't tell me where they are going. And we end up back at current police station. First, we park outside the police station, opposite, next to the Shell petrol station. Again, the guy gets out, goes and has a long conversation, comes back. He mentions there's somebody he's talking to, who must be his superior, because he mentions to the others that he's talking to Mwaniki. At that point is when he asks me for my ID, which I gave him. And he also takes his phone and takes a picture of me. He walks out again. Again, a long conversation. He comes back. Then he tells the guys who are sitting in the back seat with me to uncuff me, which they do. And that's when they tell me that, oh, it was mistaken identity. We're looking for somebody else with a name like yours. And I just tell them that's crazy, that's stupid. Anyway, I tell them, okay, in that case, let me go. They say, no, we will take you back to the police station where we got you because something might happen to you and then we are blamed. I say, fine, let's go. We drive into the police station. That time I have seen there's my other members of my family have gathered. My daughters are there, some relatives, some friends from the neighborhood, my Rotary Club, my neighbors in Kirarapon, all of them have gathered there. And that time it has already, I gather now it has already gone viral. So first they drive me to the back of the police station, keep me there for a while in the car, and I'm telling them to let me go. Eventually they say, okay, you are free to go. You can go home. And that's when I tell them, I am not going home. I am going to the report, to the, do they call it the report desk, to report a crime of abduction. I go to the desk, I tell them I'm here to report a crime of abduction. But they don't want to take my report. And I insist and I insist. Eventually they send me to an office to sit down there while they discuss what to do with me. The OCS is called. She was not in at the time. She comes in. I tell her I must report. I want to report a crime. And I want to be issued with what do they call that? Slip of paper.
The OB number.
The OB number. She's saying, no, you don't have to report here. These are CID from DCI headquarters. As we are not involved. So what you do is you go and report at DCI headquarters. I tell them, no. That first of all is taking me back to the people who abducted me. Secondly, the crime happened here. I will report it here, nowhere else. Then she tells me, okay, go on. That time, even the DCI guy from the current police station is also there. He tells me, okay, what you do, go and report to the DCI at Langata police station. I say, no, I'm reporting it here. Eventually, they get me on the phone with the OCS of Langata police station, who is the mother station of Karen. I talk to her. She tells me I go and report there. They'll take my statement. I say no. Eventually, they allow me to record my complaint. I'm given an OP number. But there's supposed to be another process. I'm supposed to then write a statement. That another pulling and shoving. Oh no, now that one is beyond us. Now you go and write it at DCI. I say no. Go and write it at Langata. I say no. The OCS of Langata calls. She says they will send the DCI guy from Langata to come and take my statement. I say fine, I'll wait. I'm not in a hurry. By that time, more and more people have come. My media colleagues have come. Editors, the leaders from Editors Guild, Kenya Union of Journalists, and others are all there. The press is there with their cameras. So I say, I will wait. I'm in no hurry. And time passes. We're just whiling around the time. Then we say, instead of waiting, not knowing whether these other guys from Langata are coming or not, we might as well address the press. At that time also, the Editors Guild leaders have come with a lawyer. So we address the press, I detail what happened. And then the lawyer advises there is no need to waste time writing a statement here. This matter is beyond the police station now. We are going to go to IPOA. So we say, fine. He calls the chair of IPOA and tells them we are coming. They happen to be in a meeting in Parliament, but they say they'll wait. They'll be there by the time we get there. So we go there. We wait for them to get ready. We are called into the boardroom where the whole, all the commissioners and their senior staff are assembled. Again, we go through the formalities of introducing ourselves, addressing the press, and then I am given an officer who will now record my statement, record my statement from my son, record a statement from my daughter, who had witnessed the car which brought me back and taken a video, and also got some of the abductors on video. That takes, again, quite a while. But we go through all that. After that, we go back to Karen with the IPOA investigators. They are trying to get the policemen from Karen who witnessed or participated in what happened. But we find that everybody has made himself scarce. Even the OCS has disappeared. Anyway, they tell me, okay, you're free to, they're supposed then also to take me for to give me forms for a medical examination. I think they call them the P3 forms. They all take cover. Nobody wants to give me the forms. They say only the OCS can give, and she's not there. I need them so that I can go to hospital to be examined for my injuries. Eventually, the IPOA guys get tired of waiting. They said, you do this. Go to any hospital or any clinic of your choice. Get examined. Get the doctor to write a report and bring it back to us and also to the current police station. The IPOA, the P3 form can follow later, which is what we do. That was on July 17th. Today is September 25th. The last time I checked, which was about 10 days ago, the IPOA investigators had not managed to take statements from either the officers at current police station or the officers at DCI headquarters who were in charge of that abduction. The senior officers at DCI had not given the names of whoever it is they had assigned on that mission. The director of DCI, Mohammed Amin, had, by apologizing and saying that it is a mistaken identity, confirmed that it was his men who had abducted me. This week, I have not checked the update, but I have not received any update, so I assume nothing has changed. We are in an era of impunity. The police have become a criminal institution into themselves, and that is why they're covering up for each other. Some of you may recall that, I don't remember the exact date, sometime last month, I was part of a media delegation that went to have a meeting with the police leadership at Jogo House. We met the acting IG, then Masengeli, Mohammed Amin, the DCI was there. 2 deputy inspector generals were there. The Nairobi police commander, Bungei, was there. The commander of the training school in Embakasi was there, and many others. I think there were more than 15 of them. And I got a chance to speak. And the first thing I told Mohammed Amin is that he is a criminal. And I told Masengeli that what he should be doing is arresting Amin, who was seated next to him. And they came up with all this narrative that Amin is apologizing, and he's apologizing again directly to me. Other officers are appealing to my Christian piety to be able to forgive and to accept the apology. And I said, no, I have heard that apology. I have listened, but I cannot accept it unless it is accompanied by concrete action. And that concrete action can only be arrest of those officers who abducted me. And Mohammed Amin knows them. In fact, he should be arresting himself even. And I told them, I know for a fact that their officers are under instructions from the previous Inspector General, Kome, not to cooperate with IPOA or any other independent agency which investigates their misdeeds. The police have an internal affairs unit which is virtually castrated. It does nothing. IPOA is unable to move. Even the National Police Service Commission is unable to call our police bosses to order, because they give the impression that they report directly to Cabinet Secretary for Interior Kindiki, who has also protected them when they break the law. And I think Kindiki does not act for himself. He is part of a political system which operates under instructions from the president. So really, we have become a lawless state. We don't know how many people have been kidnapped and to date are not yet accounted for. The Kitengela 3 were released the other day. But one thing they revealed is that wherever they were held, there were more than 90 other people. There have been reports of some of those abducted by police being found in the Macharia. There's one who was found in a quarry somewhere in Juja, and others are simply missing, and maybe right now can be presumed dead. What does that tell us? That this government has gone full blast into extrajudicial executions, kidnappings, murder. We have a police force that needs to be investigated. And if the local justice mechanisms are not able or hamstrung, then it might be need to call for international institutions to investigate what this government is doing to its own people. I think that is all I would say for now.
Asante sana kwa kutazama Wasource TV. Kama uko na maoni niachie hapo kwenye comment section. Kama huko hujasubscribe kwenye hii channel, na kuomba uweze kusubscribe ili tuweze kuwa mbele pamoja. Asante sana kwa kuchagua Wasource TV. Hadi wakati mwingine, na kutakia usiku mwema. Mimi ni Manoti ndani ya Wasource TV.